Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaclyn. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to become a part of the Glowed family. That is my son in the background screaming at the top of his lungs, but I'm super excited because today I'm trying out the new Morphe Vault collection featuring Jaclyn Hill. Her and Morphe once again collab to make 4 beautiful eyeshadow palettes, and I read, and these shadows are the ones that didn't make it to the original Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. So I'm super excited to be trying these out. I got the whole vault, and I think it came out to like $52. And I just felt like that was more bang for my buck than to just pay $15 for each. These are some really pretty palettes. This is the Ring the Alarm palette. This is the Dark Magic palette. This is the Bling Gloss palette, which is on my eyes right now. And this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. These are very nice quality palettes. They do come with a mirror, and the shades are right up under the eyeshadows. I feel like these are some really nice quality palettes of how they're made and everything. They're sturdy, and they come in a nice little box, so they can all fit in this little box right here. And if you want to see my thoughts and my opinions on these eyeshadow palettes, just keep on right. I already put concealer and I already primed my eyelids. And the first palette I'm going to be using is Dark Magic. So pretty. I can open it. So pretty. These are like really pretty shades that I don't normally reach for, so I'm super excited to be trying these out. I am going to speed through me putting them on my eyes and then give you all my final thoughts at the end of the first eyeshadow palette. to do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be right back so I can give you my final thoughts on the first palette. First, I know my eyebrows look crazy. It's just not my day today, but the rest of my makeup is on, as you can tell. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, because that's what this is most about, the Dark Magic eyeshadow palette. I felt like, if you couldn't tell in the video when I was doing my eyeshadow, I felt like the shade the first shade I used as my transition shade when I went to go into the green shade Potion, when I went to go into that shade, it was kind of a little patchy, and when I put the dark shade, the black shade Temptress on my eyelids, I feel like that just like really overtook the look, and it just like, it was kind of difficult to blend, but it did blend out. And then I had to go back in with the shade Potion and to really put that back into my crease. For the shimmer shade Power Cut, it looks okay without spraying your brush, but when you spray it, it really does look really good. Overall, this look really did turn out, the eyeshadow look really did turn out really nice. You just have to work with these shadows in this palette. And this isn't a look that I would usually do with what look I would usually go for and when I do my eyeshadow, but I really do like the way it turned out. You do have to work with these shadows just a little bit to get that overall great look, but I think overall it did come out to look great, and I would give this palette a B in my opinion, just because you just have to find what shadows work together. They can get a little patchy, but you just gotta sit there and blend and blend and blend, while I have other eyeshadow palettes that I don't, from the drugstore, that I don't have to sit there and blend and blend and blend, like the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes. You just have to really work with this palette so you can get it to work. But overall, I did come out with a great eyeshadow. That was the first palette. Now we're moving on to the second. I already have my eyelids primed with concealer, and the next palette that I'm going to be using is the Armed and Gorgeous eyeshadow palette, which is really beautiful. And if you can hear my son, that's my son in the background. It kind of is giving me Thanksgiving vibes, but not only Thanksgiving vibes, these are kind of giving me subculture vibes too, from Anastasia, just a little bit. What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. But as for the first video, I am going to speed through the eyeshadow part and then give you my thoughts at the end on the eyeshadow palette itself. So let's just go. Alright, this is what the eyes are looking like right now. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and come right back to give you my thoughts on the Armed and Gorgeous eyeshadow. I am back and the rest of my makeup is on. And let's just talk about the eyeshadow palette. By the way, at the end of the video, I will have all the products that I used on the rest of my face. So if you're curious about what else I put on my face. So let's talk about the Armed and Gorgeous Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette with Morphe. I already said this palette gave me like Anastasia subculture vibes and Thanksgiving vibes. I didn't have any blending issues with this palette like I did with the it's right here. What palette is this one? This is the Dark Magic palette. All of these colors blended. I cannot speak today. Blended out very nicely. I didn't have any problems with this palette, and like I'm gonna be honest, out of the 4 palettes, Armed and Gorgeous and the Dark Magic eyeshadow palette, I really wasn't excited for that much. But after using them, I'm like more excited to keep using them and find out which colors work best with which. But this eyeshadow palette gets A for me because I really do like this palette. I love the way my eyeshadow look turned out, and I do usually go for gold eyeshadow looks anyway. So this is just a great palette to add into my collection, and I'm so excited. But I must say, the Armed and Gorgeous and Dark Magic, like Top Secret, and then Potion look really similar. And the palettes, they do look really similar. But I mean, that's okay. I'm just saying they do look like they're basically the same shade that they used twice in both palettes. But the Armed and Gorgeous palette definitely is gonna be one of my new favorite go-to palettes. I'm definitely in love with this palette. Blended out fine. I didn't have any issues with this palette, and I'm super excited. So we're just gonna move on right on to the next eyeshadow palette. This was look 2. We have 2 more looks to go. I said 2 more. 2 more looks to go. All right, will be the 3rd look. And I'm going to be using the Ring the Alarm Jaclyn Hill and Morphe eyeshadow palette. Oh my gosh. These are like right up my lane. These are really good, like warm tone eyeshadow palettes. Like I'm super excited to be trying these. These are so cute. Like these are the colors that I reach for. Like to do my eyeshadow looks, this is what I would go to for like everyday basic eyeshadow look for me, because these are just some of the colors that I really like to use. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I forgot to mention that all of these eyeshadow palettes do come with nice mirrors. They're so pretty. They're super nice. Like sometimes I feel like if a $15 eyeshadow palette can come with a mirror, why can't some of the drugstore palettes come with a mirror? You know what I'm saying? Because like nowadays the drugstore eyeshadow palettes are going up in price, so if you're gonna go up in your prices, at least put stuff in there like a mirror would be nice, shade name, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, but that's just a thought. And like the other 2, I'm just gonna speed through this part and give you my final thoughts on the eyeshadow palette at the end. not gonna say too much because I want to give you my thoughts after I finish the rest of my makeup, but like the other two, I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. I don't know why I keep saying that, but yeah. Alright, this is the overall makeup look. Lipstick is looking okay. I really don't like the way this lipstick's looking right now. The lipstick looks funny, but oh my god. Anyway, don't pay attention to the lips, because I don't know why. But anyway, so thoughts about the Ring the Alarm eyeshadow palette. I give this an A+. The only shade that I used that I didn't like was the frame to put in my outer V. As you can see, I don't know if you saw me pointing in the video, but it did look a little patchy, but I just had to keep blending, and after I kept blending, it all came together at the end. But so far I give this palette an A+. Besides that color, you just haven't really having to work with it. But the rest of the colors that I used today, I really did like. This palette just screams me. Like, I really love the eyeshadow palettes in this palette. Overall, everything blended out great. So far I haven't been really seeing the problems other than like a few shades not blending. You have to really work with them. But so far I've really been liking these palettes, and I'm loving that I just get to sit down and play with them. And after this palette, we only have one more palette. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm like doing these all back to back, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So we only have one more palette to do, and I will be right back so we can get started on the last palette of the fall collection. Alright, I am back for one last palette. My hands are just, oh my gosh, they're pink. But we're back for one last palette, and that is the Gloss Bling palette. I feel like this palette I am the most excited about, because it just, look at these tones. Like, these tones are just so beautiful. Like, these, OMG. Like, this is the palette that I'm most excited about. I don't know, it's just so beautiful. Like, I don't just have like a purpley palette, and I'm just super excited to just dig in and play with these tones. So, without further ado, let's just get right into this video. so the eye look is done. For right now, I'm just going to do the rest of my makeup and come back and give you my final thoughts on this eyeshadow. Okay, I am back and this is the overall look of everything on my face today. Before we get into the eyeshadow palette, if you're wondering, for the most part I use these same products that I used on my face for the entire time, except I used my Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation in the first 3 videos, and then in my last video I used my OG foundation that I really love, and that's the Becca Ultimate Coverage Foundation. For lips, I've just really been using the Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color and my L'Oreal Infallible Lip Paints for mascara, Too Faced Better Than Sex Highlight, Anastasia Dream Palette, bronzer, True Match Lumi Bronzer. For concealer, it's the new Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I just had it. I don't know where it is. And that is my son in the background stomping. And then I've also been using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow concealer. Does this concealer burn anyone else's? Like, when I first put it on my face, it just like burns my eyes a little bit, like it irritates my eyes, but it's such a good concealer. And then the Wet n Wild pressed powder is what I use, and then the Milani banana powder, and then my Milani Make It Last setting spray. That's what's on the rest of my face. But let's talk about the eyeshadow palette now. Out of all the palettes that I tried today, this is my favorite palette out of the whole collection. I really like this look a lot. This is something that I normally don't do, and it came out nice. I didn't have any problems with any of these shadows blending out. They all blended out perfectly. I am really in love with this palette, and this palette I will continue to use. I give this palette an A+. Out of the whole collection, this is my favorite palette. Just the colors, oh man, I'm getting eyeshadow everywhere. Just the colors, to just the color scheme, to everything, it just looks so nice and so great. And I'm super happy with the look that I got with this palette. So let me give you a rundown on all the palettes one more time. Dark Magic palette, out of all the palettes, I have to say this is my least favorite, just because some of these colors do not blend together very nicely. I just have to keep playing around with this palette, and I will continue to play around with it. But out of the whole collection, this is my least favorite. But the Bling Gloss, as I said before, really, this is my favorite palette out of the whole collection. Really like these colors a lot. Also, I really do like this is the Ring the Alarm palette. I really like this palette too. These are my go-to warm natural colors that I usually put in my eyes. I definitely keep using this palette as well. And then for the Armed and Gorgeous, I really do like this palette too. As I said, I got subculture vibes as long as Thanksgiving vibes, and I like these colors. You can get a really pretty everyday look with this palette as well, and I really do like it. I will continue to use it. Out of the whole Morphe Vault collection, I really do like these palettes. Like, I feel like you do get nice quality eyeshadows for your money. Some of these palettes you will have a little trouble blending them with, but you just have to work with them to see which ones work best with each other and which ones don't work best with each other. It's just a learning experience, but overall I do recommend these palettes to you. They're very nice. I will continue to keep using these. These are going right on my little table right here because these are going to be my go-to palettes for right now, because I'm super excited about that. But overall, I really hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to become a part of the Glow family. I love you guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.